Does anyone have a question? You know, I, people make donations here, and it's so generous, and I'm really grateful that people really care that I can sustain this situation. Caesar requires rent and this and that and the other money. And people, make those donations, and it's really generous, and I have nothing but gratitude. I mean, I don't really reply to everybody. Occasionally I do. But I just want you to know that every time somebody sends a donation, I know it comes from their heart and it comes with gratitude. And I have a lot of gratitude myself for it. And, I mean, it's really important because to receive, you have to give something, you have to contribute something. And it could be $5, it could be, $1 million. I mean, well, nobody contributes $1 million, but it could be any sum of money, whatever it is, as long as it comes from the heart. And as long as it comes from a place that's filled with gratitude, it does nothing but really inspire me to give the deepest possible classes I can possibly give. The very, people willing to give and contribute and make sure that this meditation sustains itself. There's rent to pay, there's this to pay, that to pay, a lot of things, that make it possible to have these classes. So thank you. Those of you that do contribute, I really appreciate it, and know that it goes to a place deep inside me. It's not taken for granted. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart, this is Tom Tompkins. Um,
Um,
can you hear me okay?
huh?
Can you hear me okay?
Perfectly.
Um,
Perfectly. Go ahead. What's your question?
um, you've helped me a lot over the years with deepening my meditation, and I wanted to check with you on one thing. Um, Sometimes my energy goes up and out as light as a feather, and the grounding is in the sex chakra rather than the navel chakra. Is the energy moving wrong?
Just move it over to the navel chakra. You can consciously do that. I mean, you can't be grounded in the sexual area. The sexual area is it's a very powerful area of transformation. It's an area of the human truly, transforming itself into the spiritual. And that's not grounding. Chi is grounding. The core is grounding. Being focused there is being grounded. So if that is happening, just consciously move your attention to the chakra right below the navel. That'll give you the power, to allow energy to move through the sex and undergo that transformative, thing that happens there, the union of masculine and feminine, the birth of Kundalini because of that. So it's important to recognize that every chakra has a purpose. Heart is love. Throat is, sound, communication, our ability to communicate in the world. The mind is wisdom, knowledge. The sexual area is transformation of the human to the spiritual. And the area below the navel, the hara, is the power to do all of this. the rootedness and the power to do all of this. And when you're rooted that way and the energy starts moving that way, it activates Kundalini. And Kundalini, for all its, all the neon glitter around it, it's just a pathway to God. It's a path. I won't even say that. It's a pathway to spiritual enlightenment. A pathway to becoming one with oneself, one with higher energy, one with the universe. But the grounding comes from the chi, the power at the very core of your being. That makes everything else possible. So if you find yourself trying to get grounded in the sexual area, just bring your attention right below the navel. Focus there, get rooted there. Then that sexual energy will really do its job, which is the transformation of Tom Tompkins into, somebody that's having a spiritual life. The human becomes the spiritual. But these energies are so powerful. You understand that you need real rootedness inside to be able to deal with them. I hope that's clear. I mean, I don't know how to make it clearer. But it's a very important thing. I mean, there are people that meditate and all they do is focus on the heart center. And their teachers tell them to do that. There are people that meditate and all they do is focus on the third eye, or they just listen to their breathing. And their teachers tell them to do that. It's rare that, what Rudy created was a total holistic approach to meditation. They always talked about it. It's like playing a one-man band, You have to be really grounded so that all the chakras do what they're there to do. Including teaching us how to function here with love, with compassion, human beings, tapping into the highest levels of our humanity. And that frees us of karma and allows these transformations to take place inside. I mean, a human being is an amazing creature. And generally, most people function with about 5% of consciousness, and they think it's something terrific. Does anyone else have a question?
I have a question. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, okay.
Huh? Somebody ask a question. All right.
I will, Chris.
You go first.
Okay, thank you. Stuart, I had a very unusual and powerful dream last night. I've never experienced anything like it. And I was seated and Ramakrishna came right up to me and sat as if it felt like as powerful as sitting with you in a healing session. Tremendous light. He was speaking Hindi. I didn't understand his words, but tremendous energy. And I woke up feeling changed. And it was kind of a rare experience. And I think it was very helpful. But I just wanted to let you know about it and ask about that.
Well, Chris, that's what this work is about. You track these higher energies, these teachers that exist in the cosmos, and they work for you. They transform you. But in order to attract them, you have to be open. Otherwise, they don't come. I mean, they're not going to waste their time with somebody that's dead inside. No, they're really not. If somebody's open, they come in dreams. I mean, I've woken up next to Nityananda, and all that energy pouring into me. I mean, it's just it's just a byproduct of doing deep spiritual practice. I mean, I've had Ramakrishna and Sarada Devi when I was going through the hardest periods of my life, come to me and work for me to help me get through them.
Yeah.
And I don't know them. I mean, I just, I've seen pictures of them, and they came. Ramana Maharshi has come to me. And it's just being open. And then you attract these higher forces, and they're there to work for you and to help you grow.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's very important, I mean, if you're not open, and you're in your head all your time and your heart is closed and nothing, they can't work on you. Your commitment to a higher force in the universe is to do work to get yourself open. That is what a human being is born here to learn to do, to get themselves open. So these higher powers can come and work on us, transform us, and free us of this idiotic thing called karma.
Wow.
You got a question, Aileen?
Yes. Hi, Stuart. I want to know about the power of doing this meditation while being on a solar eclipse today. Like, is there a connection?
Is there a connection between what? I didn't understand.
The solar eclipse and doing this meditation this day.
I don't get that. Is a connection between what?
The energy of having a solar eclipse while doing this meditation.
Well, you can. I don't suggest you just stare at the sun while you're doing it. But all these things are powerful. Solar eclipses. I mean, look at the whole world was focused on the fact that there was going to be darkness for 2 hours here. It's a very powerful force. And you can sit and do a meditation and take in that energy. Astrological things are very powerful. And you can take in the energy of planets moving and whatever else astrologers do. You can take in that energy. So yes, there is a connection. And the connection is not like you got to wait for the next solar eclipse to help you grow spirit. The connection is this is happening. And you can sit down for 15 minutes and do a meditation and take in the energy of what is going on, on a planetary level. Yes. I mean, I used to go, this is true story. When I lived in Texas, and I've done it in New York too, I used to go to basketball games, and, the town I lived in, Denton, they had a pretty good basketball team, the university. And sometimes I would go literally for the last 10 minutes of the game. And if it was a really good game, there would be screaming and yelling and cheering. And there was so much energy in that arena. I would just sit there and take it in. I would take in the energy. I mean, it was a way of me filling myself with energy. People were just dumping it, and just take it in. Everything is energy. And part of the refinement of your inner life is learning how to use almost anything to grow. And even somebody's anger when they come up to it's just energy. And if you learn how to use that energy, you can truly grow because somebody is angry at you. Just stay quiet and transform it in yourself. It's an amazing thing to learn. Everything is energy. The eclipse was energy. Hurricanes are energy. Everything's energy. You know, I mean, a lot of the nonsense going on with global warming and all this is the earth saying, we're tired. The earth is tired. Nature is tired of human bullshit. The other day, who ever heard of anything like that? There was an earthquake in New York. It's nature saying, stop it. Stop the bullshit. The greed has to stop. Or ultimately, it's just the earth is going to, you know, it'll come to an end, and somewhere in time and space, it'll start over again. It'll have another chance, you know, to grow, and people live without all this madness that goes on for money and power and wars, all these wars that are going on. It's all energy. There would be no climate problems if people just open their hearts and live with love and live with compassion, and, you know, all of that would stop. But greed and power and all that madness is just sucking the earth dry, you know? And it responds. Okay, here's a tornado for you to deal with. Here's an earthquake. Here's a hurricanes, famine. Why should there be famine in the world? It's insane. Anyway, I'm not here. It's not the gospel according to Stewart, you know, about how the earth is to get fixed, you know? You know, but it's just, I mean, to me, it's just common sense, you know? And there isn't a lot of common sense in the world. That's one of the problems. There's a lot of greed. And there's a lot of money. I mean, even people to live today, the cost of living is insane today. I mean, when I was a kid, you know, you could leave home, you could get an apartment. You know, $38 a month. I used to have an apartment. And I never had a problem getting money to pay for the apartment every month or to eat. And I could work on making my life. Today, God bless these kids growing up. How are they going to do it? They all have to work for banks and, you know, all that sterile work and banks and big corporations and, you know, just to earn living to pay rent and to eat. You go to a restaurant, you can't go to a restaurant for less than $75 to $100 today. It's crazy. Unless you want to eat McDonald's and kill yourself, you know? And that's all part of greed. How much money can I make before I drop dead? It's exactly what it amounts to. Before I leave it to my kids and turn them into zombies, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, enough. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Thank you.
You're welcome, dear. I'm very happy about your growth, Aileen. Continue. You know, you really have matured so much in a very short period of time. And it's really wonderful to see. So just continue. You're doing really great. Thank you. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more, oh, just one announcement, as I've been telling you all, on Saturday, I'm going away, be gone for probably, until Thursday night. And I don't think there'll be a class until not next Monday, the Monday afterwards, because next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend, I have a retreat here. People are coming for a retreat. But I need a vacation. I really do. I need to stop grumbling about climate change. I take a vacation, just relax a little bit. Okay, all right, thank you. God bless you all. And there'll be meditation on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. God bless.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Stuart. Love you.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Good night.
Good night.